everybody. Welcome to Xavia Fox Talks, and I am your host, Xavia Fox. Once you make a transition, people usually know you for one thing, and then now you're branding something else. So it's a re-education, a rebranding. And that was the biggest thing, because most people knew me for other things that I had done, with certain businesses, and or they knew me professionally with the company that I was with, and they would associate me with that particular company.
Right.
This is Victoria from XYZ company, blah, blah, blah. And I had to, kind of say, well, that's severed now, and this is where I am now. Mm-hmm. So that was the biggest thing. That was the biggest thing. But once that got out, then the ball started rolling in a different direction.
Mm-hmm. And that actually can work. I have a funny story. The last job I held in corporate America, I was a staffing manager at a hospitality staffing agency. Mm-hmm. So I had, I never tell my age. So I had extensive amount of years in my area. Mm-hmm. So I ran an agency.
Okay.
And I trained people on different things in the hospitality and food service area. Mm-hmm. And then I got them jobs. And at one point, I had 637 employees.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I had trained a lot of those. And there were some great stories that came out of that, because I ran into a young lady who came to my agency with no job skills, and I trained her, and I ran into her, actually at an event that I was doing. It was one of my events, and I hired a catering company, and she was the head person at the catering company.
Wow.
And when she saw me, she was like, and she gave me a hug and stuff. She said, I want to help you.
Isn't that a great feeling?
It was a great feeling. Yeah. But my story was having so many employees for years after I started my own business, and I was not in that anymore. I would see people on the street, and they would say, you got any jobs?
Yeah. Right, everybody want to hook up. Everybody want a job.
You got any jobs?
Got the job.
And
You get the job.
I go to Milwaukee now, and somebody will see me, you got any jobs? I'm like, I don't even live here anymore. That was your biggest challenge. So how did you get past that?
I became my own best marketer.
And that
means I contacted people that I had worked with and let them know this is where I am now, this is what I'm doing now, and go from there. I got crazy with social media.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people find me on Facebook. So I did that. I just would tell everybody that I had worked with or was working with or knew. When I had a birthday party, I included a theme in the party so people would know this was kind of my, my launch for my business. So I just got creative with all the different ways when I touched people to include that. And it wasn't necessarily overbearing of, all about business, but it was enough to spark interest or ask questions and just to inform people about it. I also started to do things with the media.
Okay.
If you can become an expert on something, the media is willing to listen to you. Mm-hmm. So that means you write a press release, you answer a need, you answer some issues that are going on. And even if it doesn't get the immediate, you don't get an interview necessarily right away, you at least get the attention of some of the correct people. And if it doesn't work that time, they may think about you for next time.
Right.
So I've been on air a couple of times on the TV as well as radio. I guess host on some shows as well. So it started to grow.
Okay.
So that's how.
Okay, that's excellent. You are definitely a go-getter.
I'm doing it. I'm going. Yeah.
So now, who is your target market for the viewers out there that are thinking of starting a business or they're in the process of it? At what point do they come to you? Who is your target market? Who can you help the most?
I can help the most. My target market is any individual, mainly within the Chicagoland area, because I like to physically meet sometimes. Preferably in the Chicago area, but it doesn't have to be, who is at least 1 to 5 years in business.
Okay.
So that means they could be just beginning, or they could be a few years in and they're ready to grow to the next phase, or they want to expand something that they're already doing.
Okay.
They need to at least have some idea of the type of business that they want. I'm not a mind reader. I don't put people's puzzles together for them. I help them along the road. It's like having a good advisor side by side to walk the road with you. But you got to tell me where you're going. You know, so a lot of people come to me and say, well, I want to do a business, I want to start a business, but I don't know what business I want to go into. Well, when you figure that out, then you call me, because I don't know either.
Okay.
You know, I don't know either.
So you don't take them through the whole, what's your passion, where's your experience lie, what do you...
Well, I'll do a workshop on that, you know, but on a case-by-case basis, it would be impossible to do that with each and every person. That would be major, major taxing.
Right.
So the best person for me to work with would be someone who is familiar with what they want to do. They may have already started a business plan, or they may need to put one in place. They may have already started a strategic plan, or may want to put one in place. But they have some framework. It doesn't have to be a full-fledged plan.
So you can help them with that?
So I can help them with that, but you at least got to say, you know, I want to open a restaurant, and I want to open it maybe on the north side of Chicago, or I'm not sure where I want to open it, but I know at least that much.
Right.
That's my passion. That's where I'm focused. That's where I'm going to put my energies into opening this restaurant. Now, help me figure out the insides. You know, how do I get a business license? How do I get certified? How do I put a plan together? How do I get a strategy together? How do I start a marketing plan? You know, those pieces. And then we could also come in and do, it's impossible for me to do every single thing.
Right.
So, you know, I'm the brainchild, but usually there are other individuals, there are other individuals, other experts that can come in and can work directly with them on a specific area.
Now, what sets you apart from others in your business?
What sets me apart is, as I mentioned earlier, the life balance. Because most business development companies, agencies, consultants only focus on the business end. You know, you're one person. I can't split you down the middle and just talk to your left side. I'm talking to the whole person.
Right.
So same thing for me. You know, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister. You know, I'm a neighbor. I'm all of these things, and none of that goes away because I'm sitting here.
That's right.
So how do you mix all that in? So that's what separates me from what others do, is that I look at it in a holistic approach.
Okay, that's excellent, because that work-life balance is extremely important. So now, what's the next level for you, and what is your plan to get there?
The next level for me, and I'm actually moving in that direction now, is really more speaking. That's what I've been doing more of.
Motivational speaking or inspirational?
Inspiration.
Okay.
Inspiration with information.
Okay.
So it's not just, you know, it's not just about a feel-good moment, but I like to give people solid information, solid direction, so that once you have left my seminar or my workshop, that you can walk away with something applicable that you can do right then when you leave that session. It's not something, it's not information that you want to take and just tuck away in a drawer when you get back to your place. But you can walk immediately out that door, you can make that phone call, you can get online, you can find this information, you can do this or do that. So these are things that people can do immediately. They can implement right away.
So you they leave with a to-do list.
Sure. They leave with something. And it could be a multiple list, you know, multiple things, or it could be a couple things. I always talk about relevance.
Okay.
Relevance is really important for entrepreneurs. How is this relevant to me? How is it relevant right now? You know, we hear things on the media, and it's sometimes very general. information, and you wonder, well, how does this apply to me? You know, what can I do with that information? So in my speaking engagements and workshops and seminars, I make it relevant for people. This is how this applies to you, and this is what you can do about it today.
Where are you located, and can you give us some contact information?
Sure. I'm located in the Chicagoland area, but I can travel around, and I do travel around. You can find me on the web at VJS.
You might want to look dead at the camera and say that.
VJS, if you know sign language, VJS Enterprises, that's plural, VJSenterprises.biz. And that's my website. You can go there. You can see some of the things that I've done. I was honored as one of the top 40 game changers in Chicago.
I saw that.
By Ariel Investments,
Congratulations.
WBON. Thank you. And Black Enterprise. And that was a great honor. In last year, I was the Self-Employment Business Expo Build Your Business Challenge. I'm also rebranding VictoriaKnox.com. And so that's coming in the near future, very near future. And I am working on an ebook.
Ooh.
Yes, I'm working on an ebook and quite a few other things. Membership for VJS Enterprises, because, you know, as you were saying, people always ask you, do you have jobs? Do you have this? Do you have that? So there's going to be a membership-based opportunity for the businesses to connect, network, and work with each other through VJS Enterprises. So there's quite a few things of relevance that are coming.
Right. So now, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Anything else I'd like to add? Well, I think we covered.
Oh, it was a complete interview. I got it all. I got it all in.
I'm sure it's going to be more once we leave. I'm like, you know, I should have said this. Man, I'm going to get that one thing. But no, but there's always so much more, that we.
Well, let me ask you this. Just, it's not one of my standard questions. So, what would you say is like your biggest or greatest accomplishment?
Starting this business, because this is one business that I started with nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, and turned it into something.
Well, let me ask you another question, because we're talking about entrepreneurs and starting businesses, and so I don't want to avoid the big pink fluffy elephant, as Dr. Kennedy says on her Heartbreaking Healing show.
Yeah.
Finances.
Yeah.
One of the largest obstacles for people is financing the business, getting it off the ground. You need the business cards, promo materials, a website, just hosting all that. So what are some of your suggestions to people in those areas?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that, because that was one of the things that I was able to tackle with practically very little investment and got a very big return on it. Number one, I created my own website.
Okay.
And I'm not a techie person. I can type. That's it.
Okay.
I can type, okay? So I'm not a techie person, but I learned how to use the templates.
Okay.
Initially.
So is that like a tripod?
No, for a website, to build your own website.
Right. So did you go to like tripod.com, or because they have templates that you
Tripod, Homestead, Microsoft.
Okay.
And they're free.
Yeah.
They're free. So you can get your website hosted by like GoDaddy or somebody else. Somebody, can host the site. But you build it in another,
so you get like your domain name with GoDaddy, and then you, whatever that called, you patch it or whatever. So when they type it in, it goes to that site. So you found a site that's free that doesn't have the pop-ups?
Right.
The pop-up ads?
Right.
Have to,
so I did that, and I spent a lot, when you are an entrepreneur, initially you spend a lot of time personally doing it.
Oh.